What's up, everybody? BigSweetC here with you. Got a special little video for you today. I am the proud new owner of Demon's Souls Remastered on PlayStation 5, and I have finally gotten to experience this game. Today's video is about just that. I want to go over my initial reaction to the wonder that is Demon's Souls. If you don't know what it happens to be, Demon's Souls is an action role-playing game developed by Bluepoint Games with assistance from Japan Studio and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It is a remake of Demon's Souls, originally developed by From Software and released for the PS3 in 2009. The game was released as a launch title for the PlayStation 5 back in November of 2020. If you have played the original, there have been a few minor changes to this. Now, I called it a remaster in the intro. Wiki calls it a remake. To be honest with you, I never really got the chance to play the original. I've gotten about as far in this remaster as I got in the original. Needless to say, about 3 or 4 hours in. So I don't really have all that to compare it to. But I have heard there are a few tweaks to the game itself. Now, originally you could get some of the really baddest armor in the game by grinding it away in the original. I'm speaking of the Ritual Blade, and then a couple of armor suits, the Red Knight or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head, but there was an armor set, a couple of armor sets, and a couple of weapons that were in the original that you could get if you grinded away at it, that you can't get in this remaster, if you don't buy the digital deluxe version. So I, of course, had to buy the digital deluxe version because I wanted the full experience of it, considering this is, generally speaking, my first foray into Demon's Souls. I'm a huge From Software fan, huge Dark Souls franchise fan, and it is amazing to me that I get a chance to go back and play basically the game that started it all. And while I was, what I had mentioned before, there are a few changes. So, for example, now, as opposed to the original game, even the healing grasses have weight. Now, this was new to me as a Dark Souls player because even items in this game have a weight to it. So your upgrade materials, your healing grasses, everything has weight, even the stuff in your inventory. If you're just carrying it, it adds to your weight total. That's completely new to me, whereas the whole Dark Souls franchise, as long as it's not equipped, it doesn't affect your carry weight. So now you have a whole new way to kind of experience this game, because as you collect items throughout the levels, now you generally do have to start worrying about weight, whereas you didn't have to before. Now, I guess the grasses having weight is new compared to the original, and the grains that you now have in this one are also new. I didn't know this, but previously they didn't have anything you could use to protect you from fire or poison or bleeding. We just had those in the Dark Souls franchise. Well, they are no longer in this, they are now in this game, whereas they were not in the original. So, kind of cool that that they did kind of up it a little bit, even added a little bit of challenge to it. Because as I play through this game, I can only imagine the battle controls, the battle system, the engine of the game, if you will, has been completely revolutionized. This performance mode, I guess they called it, can perform at 4K resolution at 30 FPS, but anything, if you've ever played the original on PS3, even the hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever it is, very little of it that I played in myself, the combat system is horrendous because it's so outdated. It's very clunky. It's very, for lack of a better term, left and right, up and down. You don't get much 360 movement, even though it's in a 360 environment. Backstabs were kind of hard to get. And I don't even know if I was even able to ever get a parry when I played it originally. That has all been remade and remastered and upgraded, and it runs so smoothly in this remaster that it's actually probably on par with like Dark Souls 3 in terms of playability. Bloodborne, Sekiro, like that kind of like quality gameplay, which is again huge upgrade from the original, which kind of makes it more believable that they call it a remake as opposed to a remaster. But we've had that discussion before. And that is not what we're talking about here. In terms of graphic quality, now I'm not playing at 4K 30 FPS. I'm just playing at 1440p 160 FPS. And it runs so smoothly that I can't get over how easy this game plays. Now, the game runs so smooth that you almost forget the graphic overhaul that this game also has. I have played, again, all the other From Software games, and they all kind of have this, apocalyptic style, undead, chosen one, purgatory setting. This is no different. What does set this apart, though, is the environment in terms of scope and size. A lot of Dark Souls 3 is really open world, big levels, lots of stuff with giant enemies coming at you. Dark Souls, the original, the first one, was a little bit more closed, if you will, compact spaces. But it wasn't the same because you still had that kind of top-down, third-person view. Whereas this one, the tunnels that you go through really feel claustrophobic. There is no space. The place that you walk is almost the exact size of your character, to the point where you're not going to be able to roll around people in these corridors. You're going to have to fight these guys straight on. And it puts you so much more into the environment than I can remember having experienced with any of the other From Software games. It was absolutely flawless in design, and from what I've played, looks almost verbatim to exactly what we had played before on the original. Again, I've only ever really gone through the first boss area, the first maybe 2-3 hours of the game, but it just feels brand new, and it was such a refreshing kind of play, because I've played a few new games that have been fun, right? But nothing that kind of felt fresh like this one did, and it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's pretty much exactly what I expected out of a From Software game, even though it's not a From Software game. I'm so excited to play through this one. Of course, because I'm an egomaniac, I jumped right into the royalty character class, which is the level 1. It would be the deprived character in any of the other Dark Souls games. And I'm just gonna start fresh and see what comes. I have managed to get through the tutorial level and the first kind of boss. Unlike the other games, basically once you get past the tutorial level, you can start leveling your character. You can't do that in this one. You actually have to beat the first boss. So you have to go through a significant portion of the first level before you can even start leveling up, which is new to me. But the class I started with is a really formidable class, considering it starts at level 1. You start with a bunch of items, so it's gotten me excited, because if I start with all this stuff and I'm like the most basic of basic characters, this game is basically telling me, in my mind, good luck, son, this is going to be one of the hardest games you ever played. And I can't tell you how excited I am for that because of it. Now, what also kind of helps out the fact that I am super excited about this game is the reception that it got. So it sold a little over 18,500 physical copies within the first week in Japan. was listed at landed at number 16 in the UK on tops of the top 20 best-selling video games in the month of November. And even though it came out in November of 2020, it was still the 5th best-selling PlayStation 5 game, digital copies, via digital copies in the United States, Canada, and all of Europe. So people definitely jumped into it as soon as they bought it. I hope the community is still out there because, you know me, I love the PvP and the summoning and the cooperation, the jolly cooperation that comes with a Souls game. And the reception from the critics. Now, I don't usually take too much, put too much stock in critic score, but Metacritic gave it a 92 out of 100, and Game Informer, GameSpot, and IGN all gave it a 9 out of 10. So I have to imagine that that kind of score across the board probably bodes well for how the game actually plays. So do yourself a favor, if you are excited about it, find me over on the old PS5, BigSweetC, and we can play. We'll play, because I'm going to be playing it. I'm not sure when I'm going to actually stream it, if I'm going to stream it, or maybe we'll just do kind of like a long-term. I've got an idea to maybe try the Let's Plays again, but do like a little bit more kind of long format style, like a live stream. But you know, still kicking around ideas. I haven't played this game enough yet that I feel comfortable kind of streaming it. I did that with Sekiro, and I kind of wish I hadn't because I jumped into that one without playing it first, and I think it kind of took away from the live stream as opposed to made it better. Plus, apparently you can't do blind Let's Plays anymore because that would be offensive to blind people. So we'll get into it. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, because I'm going to be talking about this a lot. I've already got some ideas in mind because it's fairly different than the Souls franchise. I do plan on doing like a kind of a quote-unquote beginner's guide, even though the game's been out for a few months now. I still think that might come in handy. So be sure to hit that sub button so you get all the videos. And if you do want more of the old Sweetness family, be sure to head on over to Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit me up over there at BigSweetC. Either way, that's going to do it for this one. BigSweetC, that's me. Wishing YouTube, that's you. Wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it might be. Long as you're watching, I'm wishing you a wonderful watching time. Sweetness, signing off. Peace.